let me state this as clearly as I can. We are going to keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. We will not be deterred from this course. And in a matter of days, we will be taking brand new action to protect our people and keep America safe. You will see the action. I will never, ever apologize for protecting the safety and security of the American people. I won't do it.
That was President Trump at CPAC earlier today, previewing his plan to issue a new extreme vetting executive order on immigration in the coming days. Last week, Sean Hannity hosted a studio audience on that very subject with experts on both sides of the issue. Here is part one of Hannity's look into extreme vetting, the Islamist threat.
Joining us tonight, the founder and president of the Center for Security Policy and Assistant Secretary of Defense under President Reagan, Frank Gaffney, is with us. From the Nula Islamic Center, Imam Mohammed Sadiq is with us. Former Deputy National Security Advisor for President Bill Clinton and former UN Ambassador and CEO of the Soderberg Global Solutions, Nancy Soderberg, is here. New York City mayoral candidate. Yes, Bo Dietl is in the house. Also, founder and chairman of American Muslims for Trump, Shahid Tahar, is with us. National spokesman for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Qasim Rashid is with us. Former New York federal prosecutor, former special counsel to the U.S. Senator and House Judiciary Committees, John Flannery, is here. Retired Marine Steve Gurn, who just had 50 million hits on social media. Act for American President Brigitte Gabriel. And from the Islamic House of Wisdom, Imam Muhammad Ali Alahi. All right, let me welcome you all to the program. Show of hands. Let's start with that. How many of you think radical Islamists are at war with America? Show of hands. No?
No.
Why?
Because I don't accept the term Islamist.
Well, if people indoctrinate and kill in the name of Islam, in other words, if you tell your child that 72 virgins await you in heaven if you go blow up innocent men, women, and children, is that not radical Islamic terror? Is that not taking a religion, perverting it, and turning it into what they call jihad, holy war against infidels?
Well, isn't it the fact that we have Christians in America who call themselves dominionists who would take over the government?
Is that as big a problem as radical Islamists? Let's
I don't know.
focused.
There are more Christians in America than Muslims.
And
I think
name me the most
is.
recent attack by one of these individuals.
I can't name an attack by any individual from the 7 states that have been
Boston,
identified.
San Bernardino, the Pulse nightclub, Fort Hood.
San Bernardino, not one of the 7 states. Correct.
Okay, in that case,
take Florida,
but we have
not one of the 7 states.
But we have 72 people since 9/11. The judge in Seattle got it wrong. 72 people, Frank Gaffney, I'll throw it to you, that we know are from these 7 countries that, in fact, have been charged with terror-related incidences.
We have. It's preposterous to suggest that there isn't some connection between what these people believe, which they call Sharia, and their desire to impose it on the rest of us, which they think is Allah's will. And to
This is the
believe
caliphate.
that
What you're describing as a caliphate.
it is their aspiration. It is their belief that that's God's will to impose Sharia worldwide under a sort of theocratic arrangement, which would enable them to have a caliphate.
Is that convert or die? Is that what you say?
It applies to people who aren't of the book. You convert or die.
And even
it
by the way,
applies to people of the book. You get one other choice, and that is to live enslaved. These are systems that have been established for 1,400 years. They are not American values, and I think the president's absolutely right to say we don't want them here.
Hang on one second. All right. So who else says that they don't think we're at war with radical Islam?
Well, fundamentally, we're not. So one, since the Oklahoma City attack, there have been 40 terrorist attacks by white supremacist terrorists in America as well. So we can get that list.
Evil is evil.
It is evil, right?
Yeah.
I think the issue that we have as Muslims is affiliating these terrorists like ISIS, 97% of whom their victims are Muslim, with Islam. Nothing in Islam says convert or die. Nothing in Islam says death to the infidel. The word jihad means a struggle against evil.
I'll throw this to Brigitte Gabriel, who lived under this in your life. He's describing his view, which I know are sincere. There's no disagreement. But the problem is, if you look at Islamic states, if you look at Saudi Arabia, if you look at Kuwait, if you look at UAE, you know, how many of those states women can't drive? Women are told how to dress. Gays and lesbians are killed. Sunni, Shia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, they do the same thing. Christians and Jews are persecuted. There are 16 countries talk about a ban that if you have an Israeli passport, you don't get to go in their country. So under Sharia, a Muslim state as practiced by multiple countries, it is as radicalized as it could be. True or false?
It is radicalized because they are practicing Sharia law. And Sharia law is no friend of Christians and Jews and anybody who's a non-Muslim. And I understand what Carlson was talking about, the Ahmadiyya movement. That's a new caliphate. They started in the 20th century. That's very different than a caliphate and an Islamic state that have started 1,400 years ago and now continued and now is resurrected in Iraq and Syria. The world is at a crossroad. We are truly facing a clash of civilization between Western civilization and Western values and Islamic civilization and Islamic values that are very different.
How many agree that there's a clash of civilizations? For example, if you come from a country where women can't drive, they're told by men how to dress, marital rape is legal, that gays and lesbians can be killed, that Christians and Jews are persecuted, and then people from those countries that they grew up under want to come to this country, does everyone agree that's a clash of civilization? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
All right. Show of hands. How many disagree? It's not a clash.
It is not a clash.
You agree? Disagree?
Sean,
Bo Dietl.
Sean, back in the late 70s, early 80s, I did security for the royal family of Saudi Arabia. I made 24 trips over to Riyadh, Jeddah, and I was over there during the I watched it on television, the killing of 100 people for various different crimes. Women were not driving. Women had to veil up and all that. It's a different society. They cannot come, the people cannot come and impose that society in America. The gentleman is sitting next to me. He's a reformed type of Muslim. He agrees.
But Brigitte pointed out, again, this is 20th century. We're not talking about an advanced...
But truly, a woman, gay, or anything like that, you go to Saudi Arabia, it ain't going to happen.
Let me go to Imam. How are you, Imam?
Oh, I'm fine, Sean. Well, first of all, the moment you put the name Islam in front of it, you have negated any negativity that can follow it. That's all we're trying to say.
But you didn't answer my question. Are countries that are majority Muslim, run under Sharia law, many of whom, wouldn't accept somebody with a Jewish passport, many that tell these women how to dress, many that don't punish marital rape, many that kill gays and lesbians. I'm asking you, that's all done in the name of Islam, sir.
Well, if they do it in the name of Islam, they're wrong. All we're trying to tell you is Islam is a universal concept. We can't take
But it's happening. But here's my question. It's happening in so many countries. Wait a minute. And here's the thing. If you grow up under those values, how do you come to America and just dispense of them, and how do we know you're going to get rid of those values?
First of all, just step back a minute.
Good to see you.
We are not. Nice to see you.
How are you?
I'm great. There are 7.3 billion people on Earth. Over 1 billion of them are Muslims. We are not at war with 1 billion Muslims. We are at law
Did anybody
with those...
say that?
Yes, you are, because you're
No,
saying we're at a clash of civilization with the Muslims.
Clash of civilization with those... Wait. No, you're not going to put words in my mouth. No. I said... If you practice Sharia like Saudi Arabia, like Iran, like Kuwait, like UAE,
excuse me. Civilizations with the Islam, and we're not.
I never said those words. You're not listening. I said radical Islam. There's a difference. No, you all agree a difference?
Sean, can I ask?
Let me just finish. So we're not in a clash of... Let me just finish. We're not in a clash of civilization with the Muslim world, which some of the rhetoric surrounding this issue would imply. We are at war with those who subvert the Islamic religion to do us harm and others harm.